What is up, Zerg Nation? This is Nick here, back for another plugin tutorial for Zerg Nation's 5x server. So today we are going to be touching on RustNET and its other dependencies that you can use, such as security cameras, automated turrets, auto searchlights, bounties, and things of that kind of nature. So this plugin itself has 4 different parts. In the description I will tag each part as a timestamp. That way you could just skip to that part if that is what you were looking for. That way you aren't sitting there trying to scramble around and fast forward and miss certain parts. So first off, we're going to learn how to do or place a terminal, and that is using the RustNET. So this has about, I think it's 4 commands. So if you type in RustNet/RustNet, it'll bring up this window for you here. And in this window here, it's a help terminal, and it kind of just tells you how everything goes. So first thing is going to place 1 per building, which kind of makes sense. You can't have multiple control rooms. Terminals can only be placed on building blocks, so you can't just float them in the middle of the air. They're linked to the block that they're on, so if that block's destroyed, terminal disappears. Basically, yeah, and if a terminal is destroyed, all the links will be severed, and you'll have to reset the terminal and remake a new one. And to access it, you need to be authorized on the tool cupboard. So it's pretty straightforward. So I'm already authorized on tool cupboard, so we can get started with this here. So in order to do this here, you have a targeting computer in your hotbar. In chat, you just go /terminal space add, and you're gonna see your computer kind of pop up here. So in this case here, we're gonna put it right here. And oops. There we go. So now we have a targeting computer on the wall. It says it's been placed. And the only other command you need to know is /terminal space remove, which will remove the computer you're looking at. So when we go inside this here, we can see all these different options here. So we have the searchlight, the camera, the turret, and the bounty. So in this case here, what we're going to note down here, it helps if you kind of write it down on a piece of paper or something, just because you will be needing this number as you go, which is going to be 3499. So that number there is your terminal ID. So when you're linking up your cameras, all your cameras are linking to that ID. That way it's accessed through this terminal and nowhere else. So now we're going to jump forward into part 2, which is going to be setting up security cameras. So security cameras are pretty straightforward. So I'm going to come outside of the control base here, and I'm going to place a camera right above here, right above the door. That way we have a camera for control. So to do that, we're going to do /sc space add space the number of your control panel, which was 3499, and enter. So now you're going to see a camera kind of pops up into our hand here. So by clicking on a building block, the camera is placed, and that is that. So now we're going to set the name. So sc space name, and we're going to do control _ ent. So now the names cannot have spaces in them, so you can't be control space entrance. It's got to be an underscore, a dash, something. It's got to be 1 word. It can't be 2 words. Again, the only other things you really need to worry about for that there is /sc name space the name, which will set the name for it. And again, if you do /sc, it will show a list of help that you need. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward for cameras. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go time lapse this here, and I'm going to place a bunch of cameras around the base, and we will come back once I've placed all these cameras. So we will see you in a second. Alright guys, so we are back. I've just finished placing all the cameras we need, and we are good to go check out our links. So if we come back over here to our control base, and we open up the door, go inside. Now, at our terminal here, if we press E on it, it's going to open up the window here. We're going to choose the cameras. And right now only one of them showing up for some reason. The other ones don't seem to be linking. But we'll look into see why that is happening. But I'm pretty sure it's just because I was typing in the ID wrong. That happens, so if it does, just remove the camera, re-add it. But for example, the first one is actually showing up here. So we can actually go to remote control, and we can now look at the camera here. And we actually have full control of the camera. We can see who's at the front door and anything like that. And then basically jump and duck are to cycle through the double cameras, which those ones for whatever reason aren't being linked up for some reason. And then by pressing E, you'll reload back into the game. So now we're going to go on to the next part, which is going to be setting up remote turrets. So I will see you guys in a second. Alright, so remote turrets. This here is actually going to be extremely useful for any players, and this is remote turrets. So to add a remote turret, it's 3 simple commands. You got add, name, remove. Again, if you go /RT, like in every other one, it tells you all the commands for it. So in this case here, we're going to do RT add the terminal ID, which is 3499. While looking at the turret, that's the biggest thing. And now this turret turns on. So now what we're going to do is /RT space name. We're going to set this to base _ front. And that has set the name to it. So now by running back over to our control room, we will see that the turret is now linked up. And we have a few options in here. So inside the terminal, clicking on the turret, we now see base front. So we have 3 options. We have automation enabled, access inventory, and remote control. First step is we need ammo. So you have to access the inventory. We got to put our ammo in, and that's it. So to access the inventory, you can't do it from the actual turret. Any ammo or low grade that's going into these items have to be done through this control panel. Once they're linked up through RustNET, you cannot just access the inventory and everything like you normally would. So inside of here, we have the 3 options. Obviously, we just did access inventory, we put the ammo in. Now we have 2 options here. So automation enabled and automation disabled. Automation enabled means it's going to do it for us, it's going to automate, it's going to go, it's going to shoot. That's what it means. If you disable it, I believe it means it's going to stay in one facing direction, and that's it. It won't shoot at anybody, I don't believe. Don't quote me on that. I haven't tested that out. But we're just going to leave it as enabled for now, and we're going to go into remote control. So remote control brings up this here. So as you can see, in the bottom right, you see ammo 927. So that's how much ammo we have inside of the turret right now. And then really other than that, we see the name in the top right. And again, the same thing, I'm pretty sure jump and duck will cycle through the turrets if you have multiple. So now just by moving my mouse around, it's just like a gun, the turret moves. You press left mouse button, you shoot. Pretty straightforward. And again, to exit, you press E, you'll respawn. Now, for admins at least, it spawns us in 3rd person mode. Just ignore that. All players that are normal players will turn back into, they'll have 1st person mode. We just have 3rd person mode, which kind of just messes with everything. So that's as easy as it is to set up Rust turrets, or the automated turrets. So, and last but not least, we're going to be doing this auto searchlights. So, when coming outside of our base here, I already have 2 searchlights placed up on the roof. So I have one that's southwest, and I have one that's north. So in this case here, we have this exact same command, /SL, which is going to list all the commands for us. So in this case here, we're going to go /SL space add, and we're going to type in again, you know as it is, the terminal ID. We're going to press enter. So now that has successfully registered the terminal. So now, again, we can do /SL space name space, this one's the north, so I'm going to do north light, and we've set the name for it. That's simple again. It's not a lot of commands. So with this here, you can actually, there's a command /SL space rotate, which will rotate to the direction I'm facing. So say if I'm facing this way, I could do /SL space rotate, and the spotlight, /SL space rotate. Now it will it'll adjust its position, so wherever I'm looking. So if I'm looking this way, /SL space rotate, it adjusts its position. So its starting position when it actually goes will be facing that way. In this case here, we don't have to worry about that since it's already configured to go the way I want it to. So we've set the name for that one. Let's link up this one here. So /SL space add space 3499, which is our terminal. Add it, /SL space name. This one's Southwest, and then light. Obviously, you can name them whatever you would like to. I just name them that just so I know a little bit easier. Obviously, you can do more descriptive names if you want. So coming back into the base, our control room, we can now look at this. Now, mind you, this control room does not have to be separate from your base. You can have your terminal inside your base. I just did this separately. That way I can kind of show everybody how it works. But this can be inside your base. Now, if we go into the searchlights, we have two of them here. Again, exact same things as remote turrets. So there's not really much you have to look at. Access inventory, we're going to throw some low grade in each. You do actually need to put low grade in it. You can't just not put low grade. You have to fill it up. So we put low grade in them now, and now these are both on automation enabled, so it's ready to go. Now obviously there are next pages and everything if you have that many searchlights. At the end of this video I will go over how many searchlights each rank gets, and so on. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to quickly zap the server over to nighttime, and we will check out this plugin working at night. So let's put this on to we'll put this over to night, and let's wait for it to kick in. There we go. So now immediately as soon as it turns night, these spotlights will actually turn on. There we go. Now they're on. So now if I run around, the spotlight will actually follow me wherever I go. Obviously it's a little bit, it'll get cut off by the roof there because of the positioning of it. But wherever I run, the spotlight's going to follow me. And they have a pretty far distance too. I think the distance is 100. So once you get obviously out of the distance of tracking it, the spotlights lose interest in you and they start scanning manually. So now if I come back into view, the spotlights will acquire to me. No matter where I run, the spotlights will follow me. And obviously then at that point there, you can hop on to say your turret and start shooting people. Now, say you just want to control your spotlight manually. Again, not an issue. You go into the spotlight, you choose which one you want, press remote control, and you now run the spotlight. Now obviously because I was changing the rotation this year, everything's backwards for me, which is something you don't want. So in this case here, I'm just going to switch over to the other one. Actually, all of them are rotated right now for some reason. Usually they don't do this where you're backwards. Usually you're facing properly, but I'm pretty sure because of the rotation, it kind of messed it all up. But yeah, and then again, eat exit. It's pretty straightforward when it comes down to it. Again, for me, I spawn in third person, but you guys won't. But yeah, so we will now get into what each group gets. So, for the searchlights, again, I'll have them on the screen. That way you guys aren't trying to catch what I'm saying. But VIPs will be able to put one searchlight. VIP Plus will get 2. VIP Plus Plus will get 3. VIP Master will get 4. OP VIP will get 5. And OP Founder will get 6. That is how many spotlights you can put per base. This is not per terminal. This is per base. So you can't just put 5 different terminals in 2 different bases around the area and call it a day. No, it's that many per base. So next we're going on to turrets. So turrets, VIP gets 1, VIP plus plus 2, VIP plus 2, VIP plus plus 3, VIP Master 4, OP VIP 5, and OP Founder 6. Same thing as turrets. So turrets and searchlights are the exact same. The only one that's different is the cameras. So cameras, VIP's allowed 3, VIP plus plus gets 6. Or sorry, I always say that. VIP Plus gets 6. VIP Plus Plus gets 9. VIP Master gets 12. OP VIP gets 15. And OP Founder gets 18 cameras. So, other than that, guys, that is how you use RustNet and its dependent plugins that go with it. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to comment on this video, put it in the Discord support, or just ask me while I'm in game. And other than that, guys, I hope you do enjoy the server and keep on zerging. See you later, guys.